some new details coming out about some new patents that have been filed from Nintendo. So could we see the new Nintendo console coming without a disk drive, without discs? So we'll get into that in a little bit. But first, I do want to point out that you are watching Zombie gameplay. This is Zombie without the U. If you remember, this was a game that originally came out on the Nintendo Wii U, I believe a couple of years ago. It was called Zombie U, so they've dropped the U, and now it is out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and you can pick it up for 20 bucks. So Ubisoft sent me over this code, and so this is PC gameplay that you're watching, and I've actually got an extra Xbox One code that I'm going to be giving to one of you, so stay tuned to the end of the video, and I'll tell you how you can pick that up. So this is a zombie survival game. I mean, you've got your backpack, you have to pick and choose what you're going to roll with. And I'm still pretty early on into the game, so I'm not ready to do a review or anything like that. But from what I've played so far, I mean, I've enjoyed it. The atmosphere can get pretty tense at times. And one of the features that I do like is that if you die in the game, you can actually, you start out with a new character, which, I mean, it's not like you start the game all the way back over, but from your last spawn point, you can start back from a new character, go out and find your body that you previously died in, which is now a zombie. You can kill it and then grab your gear back, so I do like that. And this was one of the games that was on the Nintendo Wii U that wasn't a first-party game, and it was one that I was definitely interested in, so I'm finally glad that I'm getting to try it out. There's not a whole lot of, you know, graphical upgrades and features and settings and all that as far as the PC goes, but I mean, that can be reflective of the $20 price tag. So anyway, pretty fun so far. Moving on to the news. So we know that Nintendo has a new console coming out, or they have something coming. It's been codenamed Nintendo NX. We don't really know what it is, but earlier this year, there were a few patents that were filed by Nintendo, and they were just published a couple of days ago for the public. And so some of these might give us some ideas as to what we can expect with that new console. So one of the things mentioned was an achievement system and the possibility of being able to record and share your achievements, I guess the video footage of you kind of unlocking them, I suppose, sort of like you can on the Xbox One right now. So one of the patents mentioned that, and I wasn't even aware that Nintendo, you know, apparently doesn't have a system like that, which is kind of strange because, I mean, it's on the PC, it's on, you know, PlayStation, it's on Xbox, but Nintendo may be finally getting achievements or trophies or whatever it is that they end up calling them. Also, it mentioned a controller with a screen again, which is like the Nintendo Wii U. I actually told you that's what turned me off from the Wii U, because I want to either look at my TV screen or look at my hands. I don't want to, you know, jumble back and forth between two. Some people like that. Turned me off. So whatever they do, I hope that they at least give you a regular controller to use and maybe make this video controller something like an accessory or something that's optional that you can pick up. But the biggest story coming out so far is the fact that in these notes there was no optical or disk drive on the console. So it did mention that one could be added later, or maybe, you know, you could take your Wii U and plug it into it, who knows. But it doesn't appear that the main unit would have an optical drive. Now, this freaked a lot of people out because they're thinking, wow, you know, Nintendo is trying to go digital only. But this patent does mention a memory card. So we could have a situation here where they're going back to a cartridge type format, which necessarily wouldn't be bad. You know, you can get SD cards that have a lot of memory on them, and they're coming down in price, you know, about every time you go and look at them. And so a lot of handheld devices actually take those types of cards. So what you could have is a situation where maybe you can take the cartridge, plug it into your handheld, go out mobile, or you could come back home, plug it into your console, and now play on the TV. So, I mean, that could be pretty interesting. But you also have to keep in mind that, I mean, these are just patents, so who knows what it could be. It could possibly be a Wii U Mini, you know, who knows? Maybe they've got something coming out pretty soon that's just a cheaper version of the system that they have out right now that's going to have these features. but it could also be the new console that Nintendo's working on. And it could also be that these are just patents that never end up even getting used. I mean, just because you have a patent doesn't mean that you necessarily have a product. Especially with bigger companies, they have all sorts of patents. But I'm leaning more towards this has something to do with one of their consoles and some of the features that they have coming out. You know, I've told you I haven't owned a Nintendo in years. I love the original NES. I love Super Nintendo, N64. But whenever they switched over to the Wii, I just, you know, had no desire to pick one up. And I would love for Nintendo to come out with a system that makes me want to buy it, that can compete with the PS4, with the Xbox One, as far as features go, as far as online, as far as games. And of course, Nintendo always has a strong first-party lineup, but I want to see more third-party support as well. And we were told early on that the Wii U was supposed to be the console that did that, but I mean, we know how that ended up, and a lot of the third-party devs just totally abandoned it. So I want a new console from Nintendo that has all that, and I also want just a normal controller. So having to look at two different screens to play one game just doesn't appeal to me in the slightest. So post your thoughts below on what you think these patent filings could possibly mean and what they're referencing, and what you want to see in a new Nintendo console. And for those of you interested in the Xbox One copy of Zombie, just be sure that you post a comment below and add Zombie somewhere in the comment. That lets me know that you're interested in the copy of the game and that you have an Xbox One, because I want it to go to somebody who's actually going to use it and who wants it. And tomorrow I'll pick one of the top comments and send you the code. And of course, likes are always appreciated. That does it for me, the Red Dragon. You want to read more about these patents? Links down in the description box. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.